Hello, today we are interviewing Mr. Genghis Khan, who has kindly come back from the land of the dead to answer a few questions for us. So, our first question is, what principles and tactics did you employ to create a formidable force and conquer vast territories? When I took over as Khan, my army had already excelled in horsemanship and archery. The YAM system facilitated efficient communication. There is also some proof of my army leading biological warfare, catapulting dead bodies with the plague into cities to kill all the inhabitants. In short, I relied on the skill and organization of my army, but also on the fear that traveled from city to city, of the ruthlessness of it. Thank you. Did you allow the people in your conquered cities to continue practicing their religions, or did you force them convert to your own religion? I allowed people to continue practicing their own religions, because my own religion changed a lot, depending on the location. So I and my army were not surprised that other religions in other places were different. Okay. Do you see that placing competent people in the places you conquered into positions of power rather than your own loyalist? Do you think this was a good idea? The people I placed into administrative positions did what I asked them, and I didn't even think about them overthrowing me. Sometime after my death, however, when the Mongol Empire became weaker and fell into several parts, these local leaders started defying the Mongols, I would say that any huge great empire will eventually disintegrate, so I believe that it was not my fault. And the last question, who of the 21st century leaders do you see as a follower of your ideas and principles? If I consider Xi Jinping in China, one of the states we Mongols used to rule, I notice that he suppresses Islam and Buddhism in his empire. This shows he is not as wise as me. If I look at Putin in Russia, the state that we founded, I notice that he is old, but hasn't appointed his successor, which will almost certainly lead to war. I, on the other hand, appointed my son, Ogode Khan. Lukashenko in Belarus has already appointed his son as successor, but if he was more like me, he would try to invade Ukraine himself, instead of just giving support to Putin. In India and the United States, there are no supreme leaders, something new called democracy. This means that the people decide their own ruler. So I do not know any 21st century leaders who are true followers of me. If alive today, I would try to rule over my native Mongolia, but even they have adopted this newfangled democracy, and so I would be left with no territory. Better to mull it over 6 feet under. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Genghis Khan. In our next program, we will have Alexander the Great. Watch this space.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.